The distress beacon cut through the asteroid field like a scream in the void. Bassett wiped grease from his hands onto his worn coveralls and squinted at the scanner display. His repair shuttle, the Wanderer's Rest, wasn't built for rescue operations, but out here in the frontier expanse, you helped or you died. Those were the only rules that mattered. Another day, another idiot who can't read a navigation chart, he muttered, adjusting course toward the signal. What he found wasn't what he expected. The vessel was unlike anything in the standard registries. Sleek obsidian plating that seemed to drink in the starlight, geometric patterns that hurt to look at directly, and a design philosophy that screamed of technology centuries beyond human capability. It was also venting atmosphere from a dozen hull breaches and tumbling slowly through the debris field. Bassett's jaw tightened. Whoever was inside had minutes, maybe less. He matched the rotation with practiced ease. Magnetic clamps connecting with a satisfying thunk. The airlock hissed open and Bassett pushed through, emergency kit slung over his shoulder. The interior was a nightmare. Shattered crystal displays, sparking conduits, and the acrid smell of alien electronics burning themselves out. Then he saw her. She was slumped against a command throne that seemed grown rather than built. Her six-fingered hand pressed against a wound in her side that leaked luminescent blue blood. Her skin was the color of polished silver, and her eyes, three of them arranged in a triangle on her face, tracked him with the focus of a predator even in her weakened state. "Human," she breathed. The word translated by his earpiece but carrying layers of meaning his brain couldn't quite process. Surprise, curiosity, something that might have been hope. "Yeah, and you're bleeding out," Bassett replied, dropping to his knees beside her. "I'm going to need you to stay conscious and not kill me while I work." Her laugh was like wind chimes in a storm. "I am Empress Zarethian Alshara of the Velkaran Ascendancy. I do not kill those who offer aid. Good policy." Bassett's hands moved with the efficiency of someone who'd patched more hull breaches than he could count. The wound was bad, but he'd seen worse. He worked quickly, using a combination of human medical foam and what he hoped were compatible alien analgesics from his universal emergency kit. "Why are you here, human?" she asked, her voice growing steadier as the foam sealed the wound. "This sector is restricted. Your kind should not possess the navigation charts to reach this place." Bassett shrugged, not looking up from his work. "Got lost. Stayed lost. Found out I preferred it that way." For the next 6 hours he worked. The Empress watched him with those unsettling three eyes as he crawled through her dying ship, patching what could be patched, jury-rigging solutions that would make any proper engineer weep. He rerouted power, sealed breaches with hull tape and prayer, and got life support stable enough to keep her alive until proper help could arrive. She talked while he worked, about her empire that spanned 1,000 worlds, about the coup that had forced her to flee, about trust and betrayal and the weight of crowns. Bassett listened with half an ear, offering the occasional grunt of acknowledgement. "You are unlike the other humans I have encountered," she said at one point. "They were either scientists seeking our knowledge or warriors seeking our territory. You seek nothing." "I seek a functioning coolant manifold," Bassett replied from inside an access panel. "Everything else is just noise." When the Empress's rescue fleet arrived, 3 warships that could have vaporized Bassett's shuttle without noticing, she was stable. Her wound was sealed. Her ship would limp to the nearest station. She stood in the airlock of her vessel, regal despite the bloodstains and the emergency bandages. Behind her, her guards waited, armored figures that radiated lethal competence. "Human mechanic Bassett," she said formally. "You have saved the life of an Empress. The Velkaran Ascendancy owes you a debt that cannot be measured. Name your reward. Wealth beyond measure, territory, a seat of power in my court, technology, anything within my considerable means to grant." Bassett finished checking the seal on his own airlock and looked back at her. For a moment their eyes met, his 2 to her 3. "Don't need anything," he said simply. "You needed help, I helped. That's all there is to it." "That cannot be all," she insisted, something desperate creeping into her voice. "No one acts without purpose, without wanting something in return." Bassett smiled, and it was the saddest thing she'd ever seen on a human face. "Maybe that's the difference between your people and mine, Your Majesty. Sometimes we just help because we can. Good luck with your empire." The airlock sealed, the magnetic clamps released. The Wanderer's Rest pulled away, its battered engines carrying it back into the asteroid field. Zarethia stood at her viewport, her guards surrounding her fleet protecting her, and watched the human ship disappear. She had ruled 1,000 worlds. She had commanded fleets that could crack planets. She had negotiated with beings of pure energy and stared down cosmic entities. But she had never in all her long life met anyone like Bassett. Empress, her lead guard said carefully. Should we follow? Detain him? He knows our location, our vulnerabilities. No, she said softly, still staring at the space where his ship had been. Let him go. Later, alone in her chambers as her fleet jumped toward the Loyalist stronghold, Zarethia activated her personal log. Her wound ached. Despite the advanced medical attention from her own physicians, the human's crude foam had saved her life, but it would leave a scar. She found she didn't mind. Personal log, Empress Zarethia Nalshara, she began. Today I learned something about the humans that our intelligence services had not included in their reports. They have a capacity for selfless action that defies our understanding of motivated behavior. The human Bassett asked for nothing, expected nothing, and in doing so gave me something I had not possessed in decades. She paused, her 3 eyes reflecting the starlight. He reminded me why I fight to reclaim my throne. Not for power, not for glory, but because sometimes someone simply needs help, and if you can give it, you should. Somewhere in the asteroid field, Bassett hummed an old Earth tune and adjusted course for the next repair job. He'd already forgotten about the Empress. He had work to do, and out here in the darkness between stars, that was enough. That was everything.